Hey, what's up everyone? So today we're doing a video review on these paddle shifters from Frostbite Fabrication. Okay, so just starting with the basics, today I'll be reviewing the Frostbite Fabrications V2 paddle shifter kit. This is for any 2011 and 2014 F-150s or Raptors. So Gen 1 Raptor, or I think it's 12th Gen F-150. This is V2, which is a longer model. His original version, I guess, is V1, is a little shorter and stubbier, kind of like here. So I chose to get the V2 one, and I'll kind of explain why later. Just going off my cheat sheet here, these are available in a variety of colors. The V1s I think are only available in like a dark gray or black. The V2s he has available in blue, black, red, silver, and those are all painted finishes, and also he has anodized blue and red. He also has a dipped carbon fiber. Not really sure what that would entail, but it is an option. Basically the kit includes obviously the paddles, and the whole shifter mechanism, and all of the wiring that is needed to make this all kind of work and happen, and also the fasteners to the screws that attach it to the steering wheel. Just going into install now. It was really simple, honestly, and it was almost enjoyable how easy and simple and straightforward it was. He's got a really good in-depth video on YouTube on how to do the install. So if you're going to do this, I highly recommend you watch that. And he also has some Q&A videos also you probably want to watch, because he kind of goes over a couple things that he missed in the video. Overall, it took me about 2 to 3 hours. Like I said, that's really not that bad. All right, so things you'll need to do in order to get this install done: you'll have to do things like take the airbag out. You'll have to do some light wiring and pinning in connectors, and he shows you how to in the video. Again, not that bad. And you'll also have to drill through the steering wheel. There's another YouTuber called Beyond the Raptor, and he also put these paddle shifters on. He did the V1s, and that's where I learned about this product, was from him. He's very much into like Raptor stuff and technology associated with that. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, go check him out. But he said for him the hardest part was drilling through the steering wheel. I didn't really think it was that bad. Maybe my drill bits just happen to be sharper or whatever. But you will have to drill through the steering wheel, and you'll be drilling through some rubber and some plastic and some sort of alloy as well. But again, not too bad. The hardest part for me probably was just getting the connectors pinned, which again, that really wasn't too bad. All right, so now I'm gonna hit the road and do a little bit of driving, find some open space where I get to use these, and kind of talk about my thoughts on them. Okay, so I'm still in normal drive right now, and kind of how this works is you basically splice into the wires that are on the gear selector here in the center console. Basically splicing those wires with basically a circuit from each paddle shifter, and that still allows you to do the upshifting and downshifting kind of remotely at that point. The command from the center console still works, which is a nice feature. If someone doesn't want to use these, or you have someone else driving your truck that doesn't want to use your paddle shifters, you know, they can use the center console ones here. But essentially, to make it work, all you do is you put it into manual mode, or M, on these trucks, and then you basically can shift. So I'm shifting right now, downshift to 4th, and it works flawlessly. All right, do a little downshifting into a turn here, down to 2nd. All right, so to kind of go over fit and finish, I'm very impressed with the overall finish of these parts. From the outside, once you get them installed, they look very professional. Looks like they could have come with the truck, in all honesty. finish, the anodized red finish that I got on the paddles here is really nice and feels really nice to the touch. So no complaints there. All right, so to go over functionality, they work as advertised. It's immediate, like there's not like there's any delay or anything crazy like that. It works just like the center console, but it's up here, kind of where you want it. I honestly find the center console shifting like a little hokey. Kind of just feels cheap almost. I'm not a really big fan of it. This like you can use day to day. You know, if you're towing and you want to, you know, keep it in a certain gear, you can use this. And I think personally, I like it a little bit better than like reaching down and doing the center console. Sorry, just trying to make sure I don't get hit by a train here. So one thing that you may have noticed so far is that they sound a little bit different. I noticed that my downshift is a little bit quieter than my upshift. I did talk to Frostbite, and they kind of said that there's a break-in period for these. So, and I've only had these on for a few days at this point, and I haven't really used them hard or used them that much. So I'll be kind of expecting that to even out, if you will, as far as the sound goes. So one thing I also reached out and talked to Frostbite about was the sensitivity of the paddles. I noticed that my left one is a little bit more forgiving based on where I tap it. The upshift one, if I'm only using my top two fingers up here, for instance, it doesn't like to shift. You know, it's almost like it's not making contact inside the switch there. You know, if I go a little further down and go kind of like 1/3 of the way up the paddle, it works. Or sorry, 1/3 of the way down the paddle. So it works just fine. But if I'm up here, you know, I don't get any shifting. He said that might be another break-in issue, where it'll break in, and those rubber contacts that are in there will break in and improve over time. He also stated that he doesn't necessarily recommend using these top portions. It just puts a lot of stress on the mechanism and doesn't really allow it to work properly. And because of his suggestion that you don't really want to use the very tip of the paddles up here, I'd recommend when you mount these, you try to mount them as high as possible on the back of the steering wheel here. And that will allow you to basically keep your hand in place on the 10 and 2, and basically just kind of flick it. Right now I'm kind of forced to go down and kind of smack it, which is not a problem, really. I mean, honestly, it's just something that I'm gonna have to like pay attention to and make sure I get really good engagement on the paddles when I do want to shift. And additionally, I would definitely recommend getting the V2s. They are a little bit more expensive. I don't think I read the prices out before. The V2s are $295, and the V1s, the shorter ones, are $210. So you'll save a little bit of money with the smaller ones, but with the taller ones, you can keep your hands at the 10 and 2 where these palm swells are on the Raptor steering wheel, which feels really natural to grab onto, and you'll be able to shift easier and not have to reach as far, like worried about your hand placement as much. So just a couple thoughts in closing. Is this necessary? No, definitely not. The center console can shift manually if you want to shift manually. This is something you do if you want to have an engaging experience. If you like driving your truck, you like off-roading, you can have your hands on the wheel. You can immediately control what gear you want, and at the touch of the button, change it. And that's really fun. And honestly, that's probably other than engaging, that's probably like the next word I would use is fun. It's a fun mod to do. It's not, you know, extremely cheap. You know, it's a few $100s, but in the end, if you can afford it, I think you're gonna enjoy the experience.